Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Wistful Vistas here in beautiful suburban San Diego, California, and continuing on with our honored guest, Albe from Albe's Adventures. Get out to his YouTube channel and watch some of his stuff. He does motorcycle modifications and vlogs his rides. But I really am intrigued by this Africa Twin. This is so impressive to see in person once you see the technology behind it and the electronics. And Albe just rode from Riverside to Seattle, Washington. How many days, how many miles?
It was about 5 days going up because I took my time. 3 days coming back down. I think altogether about 4,000 miles.
Wow. Wow, I've never done that. Have you done a longer motorcycle ride in your history?
No. Until I was 26, I was back in Italy. Distances over there are shorter.
Yeah.
And on that note, I was a crotch rocket riding guy.
Yeah.
All the way until mid-30s. So
Okay.
I made a Rome to Firenze, Florence, once. And when I got to Florence, I wish I had a chiropractor to put me back together because I was super tight and crooked. And I was in my 20s at the time, so that says a lot. So no, this is the longest trip I've done, and I'm glad I've done it with the Africa Twin.
Well, you got to my opinion, one of the best parts of the entire USA. I've traveled the whole country, and that coastal trip is just beautiful. But I noticed on the conclusion of that trip, you had some insights that you had learned for some distance riding, and I thought they came from wisdom and experience. So I thought there was something good to share. So can you tell us what some of the things you observed are?
Yeah, first of all, the way I've done that trip was I was set up to meet my wife in Seattle. So she was flying out there because she no way in hell that she would have rode a motorcycle up there. And I like it.
Wise woman.
I like it. Yeah, I like it quiet. I like to be on my own when I ride.
Yeah.
But in my head, the goal was to get to Seattle rather than explore. So although I gave myself 5 days, the distance between every stop was quite long. I wish I gave myself shorter daily rides so that I would have time throughout the day to actually explore sideways. There have been a few times where I was going through the redwoods, looking at a trail trailing off on the side and thinking, maybe I should go that way. The problem is, at the end of the day, I need to be at a certain point. And if I take that ride, now I'm going to get to destination, whatever I planned, way too late.
Yeah.
So in the end, I ended up skipping on all those extra adventures that I could have had because I gave myself a time limit. So if I would have to recommend something to somebody is, if you're going on a trip like that, don't make shorter distances between the places you're going to stop and explore sideways. There is so much to see, especially if you go on a bike that is capable of doing road, dirt, and a little bit of serious off-road. Possibilities are endless.
I think that's a really good insight.
There are a few other things that you'll learn going. But go ahead with, if you have...
Sergio.
Come sta? Sì, mo fino verso le 5 oggi lì stiamo a fare i video e quando abbiamo finito con i video...
Sì. Due canali di YouTube per le motorbikes and 1100. Due cilindri, quattro cilindri. So, Albe, what you mean by saying, seeing a road and not going down if you stay maybe half a day in one area, take your time, and you can explore in that area a little bit.
There have definitely been times where I could have spent not even half a day, a whole day,
Yeah.
just in one. Dai Sergio Mortacci tua, metticela una marmitta.
I just got to say, it's been fun out here, ladies and gentlemen. We had a great conversation with the fellow that's working here at Wistful Vista, Sergio, who's also Italian, and he's so delighted to be able to talk to Albe because they're countrymen, and he's such a nice guy, hard-working guy. But he came by and spent a little while, and then he starts his car up. So, okay.
And it's loud, so
It's
I
loud.
know the microphone is picking it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I was saying is, first of all, the trip, the California coast,
Yeah.
one of the most beautiful coasts are there.
Yeah.
You can literally spend the whole day in a 100-mile range.
Sure.
You know, just going sideways, finding side streets and
Yeah.
little path
Yeah.
through the woods. And
Yeah.
like I could have spent a day or two when I went through the redwoods or Big Sur. Mm-hmm. I could have spent a couple of days just
beautiful
exploring
there.
that area. Instead, I had to go through and I went through at a leisurely pace. Mm-hmm. Took my time looking around, but not as much as I wanted to.
Yeah. No, it makes sense to me. I think a lot of times we say, hey, I went to this place and looked at it, so I've seen that. But have you really seen it? You spent the day there, but have you really seen it? So the other part I think that you mentioned, things that you learned about solo writing
Yes.
by yourself.
As I said, I love riding on my own. That's why my Tuono doesn't have passenger's peg. This one still does, but I never usually have anybody
Yeah.
on the back. I like the quiet. I like to not meditate. I think people throw around this meditate word a lot.
Yeah.
But being able to just shut up,
Yeah.
ride the bike, enjoy what's around me, the smells, the beautiful views, the sounds, without having to talk to somebody necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to people, but then maybe it's just me.
He does. He's great to have a conversation with. But you understand that it is a solitary experience, and it's a little bit of escaping, right?
It is.
It's escapism.
It is, and especially if you have a job where you're dealing with people all the times, I think taking a few days where you talk to the minimal amount of people, just stay in your own head and ride, I think it's relaxing.
Therapy, huh?
It's therapeutic.
Yeah. So I want to just say now, equipment-wise, gear-wise, how did you do in that time? I mean, so you wear the same stuff 5 days.
That is nice that you actually ask, because I just made a video the other day on how to tour on the cheap.
Okay.
When I bought the Africa Twin, I didn't have much cash left over to buy touring stuff.
Sure.
But because I've been riding motorcycles for years and years, I have a few things laying around. The only thing I bought to make the tour was the taller windscreen, because this bike comes with a windscreen that is up to here.
Ah, didn't know that.
So this one is still Honda, but it's the taller version.
Okay.
A quick shifter, because although I could have chose the DCT version, which is...
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this.
It's not an automatic. It's not like in the car that you just press the pedal and it actually goes through the gears.
Yeah, you
But
clutch
for
at a
you,
stop and
there
let
is
the clutch out? Or no?
No. There is no clutch. You just use the gas, but it actually goes through the gears. So the DTC
Yeah.
changes the gears for you.
Okay.
And it's very intuitive. It works really well, and you also can change the gear with buttons on the handlebar. So that's fantastic for touring.
Yeah.
I didn't want that because I usually go off-road pretty hard with this thing. So I still wanted the gear. But at the same time, as you know, because you have it on the Tuono, the quick shifter, it's fantastic,
Yeah.
up and down.
Yeah.
So windscreen, windshield, and this bag in the back.
Okay.
When it comes to the bike. When it comes to the clothes, you'll be surprised. I bought one change of clothes for every day. So I had 5 days worth of clothes in my bags.
Oh.
And they don't take that much room.
Yeah.
Especially
Okay.
when it turns out that pants, my riding pants that I had from before, they actually lasted the whole 5 days. Then when I got to my destination in Seattle,
Clean them up.
washed them,
Yeah.
wore them coming back. Same thing with the jacket. So in reality, I had 3 pairs of jeans with me. I had shorts. I had 5 or 6 t-shirts, and obviously underwear and socks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plenty of those, 7 pairs or whatever.
Okay.
So and that was it.
That's interesting.
What they want you to believe out there is that to go touring on a motorcycle, you need to spend $1,500 for a Gore-Tex jacket,
Yes.
or
yes.
$500 for a set of boots,
Yes.
or $500 for a set of pants, and
Yeah.
super mega bulletproof gloves, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It turns out I bought boots to go because I wanted boots that I can actually walk on
Yeah.
without looking like I just came from the slope
Yeah.
skiing.
Yeah.
And they were O'Neill boots, $170, which for adventure boots, they're cheap.
That's cheap for a lot of motorcycle boots, really.
And they were fantastic.
Yeah.
I walked with them. I went through Solvang and I walked quite a bit.
Yeah.
I hiked to go look at stuff up
Yeah.
on the side of the road.
Uh-huh.
They were solid. So
Excellent.
They were good. They're waterproof, even though it never rains in California. So you don't have to spend that much money. Same thing
Yeah.
with my jacket. I have an old Alpine Star that I think I paid $250 for it.
Yeah.
As layers. So if it gets cold, put the
Wind-
layers for the
Wind blocker.
the wind blocker, as well as waterproofing, and a layer like a fluffy layer to put inside.
Warming layer,
A
maybe.
warming layer.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't really need that $1,500 clean Gore-Tex bulletproof jacket. I can just wear
Yeah.
2 years old Alpine Stars.
Awesome.
And they'll do just fine.
That is awesome. Will you send me the link to the boots?
Yes.
And I'll put that down for people to look at.
By the way, if you guys go to albizadv.com/gear or my gear, wherever there is a menu, everything is in there. I made it really, really easy for everybody to see
There
what
you
I'm
go.
doing.
All right. I'll put the link to Albe's ADV.
Sales
And
pitch.
then you don't come to me, you go to this guy right here and you get that gear. Well, those are some great insights on long-term motorcycle travel. It's romantic, the idea for me. I don't know that my day, I think my day is behind me on a trip like that. But the idea, I think, excites a lot of people who are on motorcycles to think of taking off on this adventure. Last question to ask you in this particular part. Do you think you have another trip like that in your future at some time?
I hope so, because I loved every minute of it. Even though once I got to Seattle, my rear end was screaming at me, don't you dare ever do something like this again. The memory of the trip, it gets better by the day.
Yeah.
Like the more I think about the trip,
Yeah.
the more it's like, oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I want to do it again. I was going to do it now, and I was going to go to New Mexico. but work and family stuff, so it's not happening.
By the way, I've been to New Mexico. I don't know if you know this, but the fellow that bought my 2017 200 and the fellow Tom Loudon who bought my, pardon me, I can't remember the gentleman with the 2017 200, who bought the Ducati V4S, Tom Loudon, are both New Mexico.
Oh.
And the bikes are within 50 miles of one another. I have a picture of the
wow.
two. But New Mexico is prime riding, beautiful riding country.
Yeah.
So appreciate it, Albe. Again, once again, thanks so much for coming down, and really exciting for me to share this Africa Twin and then your equipment story there, because I think that a lot of people are held back for various reasons. Can I do it? You know, do I have to buy all this gear? And what should I think about when I go? And I think it's been really worthwhile, and I hope all of the ladies and gentlemen out there think so too. But
Yeah.
thanks for coming.
Just get what you can and just do it.
Do it.
Next year, if the jacket you wore wasn't good enough, next year just buy a new jacket rather than the old set.
Yeah.
There are a few things that when you take one of those long trips you want to really pay attention to. One is a camelback with water.
Yeah.
Important, super important. You get parched.
Yeah.
Because the wind and the heat. So water, download the music, because there's going to be places where you don't have cell reception.
Yes.
And download the maps for your Google Maps.
Oh, and why is that? It's the same thing. Go ahead.
Same thing, because if you don't have reception, if the maps is downloaded, you still going to have GPS reception, and it's going to show you on the map that you already downloaded on your phone. Instead of having to download the map as you go through the cell phone network.
Yeah.
So
I forgot that part. That was another insight you had on that original vlog.
Amazingly enough, even in California, where there are cell towers everywhere, there are places in the Big Sur and the Redwoods where you have no reception.
Sure, that makes a
so
lot
it's either
of sense.
that or buy a separate GPS unit, but
a big satellite GPS or something like that.
Yeah, I don't want any more stuff on the bike. So
yeah.
that's the easiest way.
All right. Well, so the one thing Albe mentioned, that he gets cranky if we push him too far, if he doesn't get enough sleep here. So this guy, I don't want to see cranky. He's very friendly. But again, thanks for coming down, and hope we can do this again.
Sounds good.
Okay.
See you now.
Ciao.
See you later.